Hello, it's day 4, and I want to talk about the word fat. I actually intended to talk about this like a while later, but it's kind of early spring right now, but the weather isn't really cooperating. It's like rainy and muddy. I didn't sleep so good last night, so I'm feeling a little gloomy anyway, so let's just get it out of the way. Let's talk about the word fat. I've been using the word fat in my videos, but I've noticed that anytime I say it, I kind of say it with a cringe. So it is something that needs to be addressed, at least on my end. I don't know if you guys are okay with me talking about the word or even using it. So take this as a bit of a trigger warning. I haven't put trigger warnings on any of my other videos, but I'm going to today because we're going to be talking about hurtful words that have been used against me. I have been called fat a lot in my life. I have heard it all. I've been called fat by men, by women, by the very old and the very young. Everybody in my life at some point has made some comment about my weight. And that's not even an exaggeration. My family, my friends, everybody's said something. On the one hand, you have people who are trying to be helpful. They're pointing it out for you, or they're trying to give you advice. And on the other hand, you have the people who load that word in a gun like a bullet and bang, they're just trying to take you down. Friends and family who use the word tend to try to downplay it, I've found. My least favorite of all of the helpful comments has always been, "You're not that fat. You're not that fat." Oh my goodness. It's that little word in there. The word that. It's not, "You're not fat." It's the words, "You're not that fat." I feel like when people say this, the underlying current is always something along the lines of, "Yes, you are fat, but I like you. Therefore, we can overlook it for now." Or sometimes it's something like, "You are fat, but you're not like TLC 600-pound life fat. So again, we'll give you a pass." Sometimes when people are trying to be helpful, they'll tell you, "Just eat less. Just move your body more." As if every fat person in the whole world hasn't done research on doing that, or hasn't dreamt of the day when they would be a fabulous athlete or dancer, this slim, svelte fantasy that every hurt little girl puts into her brain whenever that word fat comes out. Man, I can rattle them off. Not just the word fat. I've been called fat, obese, overweight, chubby, chunky, land whale, ham planet. Oh, and my personal favorite from my brother when I was a little kid, the Hubble Space Telescope. Yes, the Hubble Space Telescope circling the planet in her majestic orbit as she takes pictures of the night sky. Boy, that one hurt a lot when I was a kid, but now it's just kind of funny. I've had to reject men only for them to tell me, "Well, I didn't want to date you anyway because you're fat." I've lost friends in the past, and those very nice girls looked at me and said, "Well, you know what? You were just the fat friend anyway." And it's really strange, actually, because for as long as I've lived and for everything I've heard, it really doesn't affect me anymore. And you might be thinking, "Oh, that's great, Kara. You've gotten over it. You've overcome the pain and the hurt of being verbally abused. Awesome. Good." But just like with everything else in my life, I've adapted, but not exactly in a healthy way. I feel like a part of myself has broken off. You know how when you bend a paperclip back and forth over and over, it's fine for a while, but then you bend it one time too many and it just snaps off? I feel like something has snapped off of my soul. It's like burned a hole through me. Like my soul has been cauterized. And again, you might be thinking, great, it doesn't affect you, but it's disappointing. That's the word I'm going to use. It's disappointing that there's a whole part of myself that I can't feel anymore. You know what I mean? And there has never been a greater piece of evidence that my life would have been different if I hadn't grown up fat, if I hadn't been fat my whole life. Like, there would be a part of me that I could still feel if I had been a normal weight. My point is, despite all of that, I do feel like most people are good people. Most people are good, normal people. And even some jerk at the bar shooting you down, calling you too fat or too heavy, obese, Hubble Space Telescope, even that guy doesn't think about the word fat after he's called you fat. He forgets about you. He goes home and he takes a shower and he goes to bed. He wakes up the next day and goes to work, and he's perfectly polite to all of his coworkers, and he walks around thinking, yeah, I'm a pretty good person. Fat people are kind of an acceptable target in that sense. And I don't know, there's nothing I can do about it. I do know that there's a contingent of people out there who are trying to reclaim the word fat as simply a descriptor. Like saying somebody has black hair or brown eyes. That person is fat. And I think that's a noble goal, but I don't think that I'm ever going to see it happen in my lifetime. The word fat has centuries of hatred behind it. Maybe not hatred. Hatred's probably too strong of a word. It's got centuries of suffering packed into it. It's got centuries of vitriol. That's the word, vitriol. But Han Solo. Jabba the Hutt. Oh my god, I forgot about Jabba the Hutt. My brother used to sing a little song to me about how I was Jabba the Hutt. How did I forget that one? Oh my god. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, reclaiming the word fat. You know, there's examples of Shakespeare using the word fat as an insult in his plays centuries ago, so I don't think that a couple of decades of using it neutrally is really going to neutralize the word, if you know what I mean. Now, that being said, I am going to use the word fat. I have been using the word fat, and I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to using it. I do use it, and I try to use it neutrally, but I am also aware of that background of it. So that was me today. I'm getting stared at by an employee at the neighbor's place. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm on the phone. I am on the phone. Should I have an outro? What should I do? Should I tell a joke? Should I tell a fat joke? I don't have any fat jokes. I feel really bad just leaving you guys on these depressing thoughts at the end of a video, just cutting it off. I guess I would just say come back tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're going to be talking about another diet that I'm going to be Frankensteining into my Franken diet. And you know what? Try to be nice. Boy, words can really sear themselves into somebody's head. I would almost rather somebody throw a punch at me. You know what I mean? Han Solo?